up, and looks like he is, yep, going to steadily push into the main as he did blow up something. Infestor's coming up, going to see what damage that they can do, get some fungals off. Looks like, nope, the Infestors are just going to get shot, throwing up infested Terrans, trying to do whatever damage they can. But looks like this attack is going to do quite a bit of damage here, as most of those eggs did get taken out. Siege tanks still up in the main. Most of those Zerglings did get taken out. 42 Zerglings in production now. Meanwhile, Infestors are pretty low on health. Only has just the 2 Infestors left, it looks like. That was Slippy, he says. Slippy. More Marines and Marauders getting elevated up onto the high ground. Zerglings coming out now. Getting a nice surround on that Marauder. Gonna take out that Hellion. Probably trying to do whatever damage he can. As he does have so many siege tanks on the low ground. Lots of Zerglings getting exploded there. Getting a nice surround on those siege tanks. Takes out 1, takes out 2. Looks like he's using this siege tank to fire down on itself. Takes out all the siege tanks on the low ground, and we've got 1 lone siege tank now on the high ground, as we do have 3 roaches, 4 infestors, and +3/+3 in the production. 28 marines, more tanks, more marines, more SCBs, and a Thor now coming down to help out this battle. 2 Vikings now in production. Vikings are going to kill overlords, it looks like, because there is no Mutalisk presence on the map yet. Possibly could use them as spotters for his siege tank, pushing up into the gold with this small Terran army. This one siege tank here is alone and is going to get taken out rather quickly, as it does look like, there they go, Zerglings surrounding that siege tank, taking it out. Meanwhile, we do have him just setting up shop in this gold base. Would love to see him get some planetary fortress taken out. Is now taking his 3rd, got it all set up, ready to go, transferring workers. And it does look like he is heading now down to the 4th base. Going to work on that as its defenses are much lower. We do have a stream of Zerglings heading down, as well as a bunch of Infestors on the high ground. And it looks like that Queen does get taken out. This hatchery is not long for this world. It does look like the Force army is now coming in, and they're going to see what damage that they can do. Definitely looks like they're going to save this hatchery, as that Thor gets surrounded by Zerglings and this army gets taken out. Meanwhile, we just have the 2 Vikings here. Could easily come in and pick up some of these overlords. As there are several overlords on the map, and the only thing that can shoot up right now are those queens. Would love to see him get in here and take out all these overlords just chilling right there. But we do have that Zerg army now sitting down here in the southern position, leaving the natural wide open, but the Terran's army is very weak. 114 supply to 133. Mork in the lead, +3/+3 almost finished, and getting that Ultra Cavern. +1 attack is now started for the Terran player. Hasn't started +1 vehicle weapons yet. But it looks like as far as upgrades go, the Terran is falling very far behind here. And Mork is now getting ready to take his gold base, as he does have both sides of the watchtowers. Nothing can really see that. Terran player could even get some siege tanks down here. I know that if you put siege tanks here, they can reach here and delay mining at this base. But we do have another Terran army pushing out. 1 burrowed Zergling to prevent that base from being taken without a scan or an army. Oh, that 1 Zergling is being so pesky, but no command center is on its way. 2 Ultralisks in production, as well as getting another this hatchery right here is the one that's in production. More siege tanks being built, more marines, both players sitting relatively low on money. But it looks like this base will be spotted and is going to get taken out or canceled before it has a chance to finish. Meanwhile, scanning those Zerglings, seeing where they're at. Infestors coming up from behind, getting some nasty fungals off. Just hit the siege tank, it looks like. There he goes, more fungals on that army. Softening it up quite a bit for when the Zerglings decide to run in and clean it the rest of the way up. Siege tanks now sieged up on the high ground, getting some much needed kills for this Terran army. Mork currently sitting on 4 base Zerg. Adrenal glands now being produced, more Zerglings, and 9 Ultralisks. These Ultralisks are going to do so much damage to this army when they get up there. Where are those bad boys? There's 2 Ultralisks right there. Where are the rest of them? Actually, we have 2 right now, more being produced. There's more Ultralisks coming. And we've got this massive army just sitting up here on the high ground, trying to do what damage it can, taking out some of those creep tumors, pushing that creep spread back. Siege tanks getting set up, ready to go to guard this army, but meanwhile these Ultralisks are going to rip through and do so much damage. +3/+3, hasn't even started the +2 armor upgrade for his Ultralisks. Marines basically are going to be able to do 3 damage a shot to those Ultralisks. Not much to take that out. Sends a small contingent force down here to this base. Queen burrows, saving her life. Could easily set some Hellions here just to roach the hatchery, just to try and take that Queen down. Drone's getting taken out left and right. Hatchery does go down. Meanwhile, we do have the army engaged up here, and those Ultralisks chew through that army like it's not even there. like it's a tissue paper army. Ultralisks doing so much damage, 500 hit points. They're the tankiest unit of the Zerg. Meanwhile, forcing those medevacs to return home, 127 to 170 right now. Mork in a commanding lead, although he did lose this base down here. Checking up here for a base, no base there. And we do have those Ultralisks heading down now, going to take out this army quite quickly. Queen is sitting there on the low ground, could easily pop her up, do a transfuse if any of these Ultralisks get low, popping off those last few Marines. But we do have those 3 Hellions up there being pesky and productive as all possible. Currently 136 to 193. Mork is taking a commanding lead of this game. Should have this one wrapped up in no time. Just has to 1A up into this base right here, as it is an orbital command with a missile turret, and could easily just wipe out this army altogether. And there goes the Zerg push streaming across the map. And we do have the Terran Ball getting ready to push out as well. And where does the Terran Ball decide to go? We've got those Zerglings streaming up into the base. Could easily get in here, do some massive amounts of damage, as this is an orbital and not a planetary fortress. Meanwhile, we have more Ultralisks streaming up the map on the right side. Could engage this army, and probably with those 4 Ultralisks do massive amounts of damage, but we do have a nice Marauder transition here coming from our Terran player, and keeping those siege tanks unsieged should actually be able to do quite a bit of damage to those Ultralisks, but I don't think it'll be fast enough to take that out. Meanwhile, this base is now getting surrounded, taking out those STVs, taking out those Marines, and we should be seeing a GG from this player any minute. 2 Ultralisks do get taken out in the fray. Infestors here guarding that base, guarding the backside of his army, can easily just throw down some fungals, slow down those Marauders, as fungal growth now does massive damage to armored units. Zerglings now streaming in, able to do massive amounts of damage to those Marauders. Zerg army forced into a corner, but should be able to pull out and do as much damage as possible. Cats fighting in the window. We've got Ultralisks on the ground cleaning up this army. Siege tanks firing as fast as possible, but they're not going to be able to take any of this down. Vikings even low health from those infestors up on the ground. More fungal growth being cast, and this army is definitely getting cleared out. But it looks like Mork is suffering some severe casualties, but still sitting at 172 supply, able to reproduce his army so much faster than the Terran player. And this is definitely going to be a GG soon, as another Ultralisk gets taken out. C, he says, possibly because they were talking about this kind of build and how much damage it does. Either that or just talking about how infestors are just so OP. But it looks like Mork thought he was going to get rolled by this master Terran player. But it looks like Diamond Mork is doing some damage here. Gonna take out this, definitely won this game. We do have that orbital command flying to the gold base, but that one pesky Zergling is there to block it. Alright, and it looks like he is now taking out these barracks, keeping the supply down from the Terran player, and now Mork is just droning up because he has nothing left to do but just drone up and LOL as he is rolling through this base. More Ultralisks streaming up the map with their giant razor blades for tusks, and it looks like they're going to get in here and take all of this out. Oh yeah, look at the carnage happening here. Alright, and there's the leave the game from our RadmDFox player. I hope you enjoyed this replay. If you want to see more like it, subscribe to my channel down below. And as always, check out the StarCast at www.thestarcast.com. Thank you very much and have a good day.